Yeah, I was in Denver, and him and Ed Ferraro, they pulled me aside. Now you picture me. I'm sitting there. Now I'm supposedly this wrestler from Japan and Mexico and everything. Norman and Ferraro, Vince Russo, we got a great idea for you. We're gonna put you in the hardcore division. With Knobs and Bam Bam Bigelow and Haku. I'm saying this to myself. I'm like, okay. And we really want to push you in that division, and we're gonna make you the champ. The more they're talking, the more I'm baffled. We're going to give you a character where you think that you're the toughest guy on the face of this earth, and that you're not. And each time that you have a match, you're going to dress up, if it's in football, a football outfit, or hockey gear, or karate outfit, or whatever. And at this point, my self-esteem, I'm like this in the chair. I'm like, I can't believe this. And he says, Norman, to top it off, we want you to scream. Now, I'm thinking that this is some kind of rig. There has to be a camera. I mean, there has to be, because everything that a professional wrestler is supposed to do in order to be a wrestler, they're asking me to go against the grain and do totally the opposite. So the one thing I was grateful for, that it took time out to come up with a character and an angle and so on and so forth. But the screaming Norman thing, to tell you the truth, I hated it. Hated it. My first opponent was Horace Boulder, and he's working me over, and I'm screaming, and I felt like an asshole. I'm the man. I'm the man, and I forget who the referee was, but the referee you gotta scream louder. Yeah, scream louder, Norman. I hated it. I got back in the locker room, and the boy said, "What are you doing now? It's obvious. I'm just doing what I'm told. That's why I want to keep my job." So it wasn't until, I would say, a month later, and I was working matches. I worked Bam Bam, I worked Knobs a couple of times, Jerry Flynn, and I'm at the Target Center in Minneapolis. And I'm in a handicap match with Haku and Barbarian. And, I go back to Mexico with Haku. And, I'm in the ring there. He's working, big chops and everything. And the place is screaming my name just like they scream Goldberg. And Haku, brother, I guess you're over now, And I'm thinking to myself, this thing is actually working. I couldn't have been more surprised. And, I left the match, and it was a deal where they took me out on a stretcher, and I came back in, and I ended up beating Haku and Barbarian to go to the finals in the tag team in the hardcore tournament in Toronto with Knobs, and I was just flabbergasted because I couldn't believe it. I mean, people are laughing, but as long as there's a reaction, if they boo you, if they laugh, if they clap, as long as they're doing something, as long as they don't do this, that's what a wrestler wants, a reaction. So I was just flabbergasted, but I knew with that character that there was very little room for me to move up, because I know I would never wrestle Sting. Sting, can you see Sting feeding up for the wiggle? Goldberg, Ric Flair, Hogan. So I knew that it wasn't something that was going to take me to the top. But for that point in time, it would secure my job, which was important to me at that time. Another thing I wanted to touch on was got my train of thought.
I was going to ask you how expensive does it get to go to every town you have to buy?